Hey guys, it's Mia here, and welcome back once again to another show review. Now today we are going to be talking about the show WandaVision. Now, if you don't know, WandaVision is a Disney Plus Marvel original. So I recently just finished this, and so I wanted to talk about it. So WandaVision is a show that focuses around Wanda, the witch of the Marvel group, and Vision, the cybernetic superhuman from the Marvel Universe. Now, granted, I don't know a lot about them because I haven't watched much Marvel stuff. I'm starting to watch more of it lately with a friend of mine because he's really into Marvel, so that's where we're at. But I don't know a whole lot about these characters, so I'm just going off this show itself. So WandaVision centers around Wanda and Vision, like I said. Now, at first when I started watching the show, I was a little worried that I wasn't going to like it because it started out in black and white. Now, don't get me wrong, I love old-timey shows like the Beverly Hillbillies, the Monsters, and stuff like that that was originally made in black and white. But now that we have colored TV, I don't want shows to be made in black and white. And that's just me, that's my preference. It's okay if you like that stuff, I'm not ragging on you for it. And I'm not saying I completely hate that. I will watch stuff that was originally that way, but it kind of bugs me nowadays. So I was like, uh-oh, when I first saw it. And then it kind of has this like old-timey sitcom aesthetic, which one of the reasons I don't like old-time sitcoms is because the acting in them is atrocious. Everybody's yelling because the microphone qualities were really bad, so they had to talk louder in order to be heard, and that kind of gets grating, and then just the effects and everything else. But I feel like WandaVision, even though I don't like those things in a show, does a very good job of setting themselves in those old-timey sitcom ways and working it all out being a modern show. It does that really, really well. So that's something you can be commended for. Now, for me, the show did not start getting good around episode 4 is when it started getting good, and that's when the sitcom-y nature of the stuff going on with Wanda and Vision started to blend with the modern day element of the Marvel Universe. And I felt like the two blending worked really well, and it really helped to more immerse me into the story where I was struggling through the first 4 episodes. And with the blending of the modern world and this sitcom-y nature, there starts to get not only this kind of meta element, but this kind of mystery. And the meta element comes because the people from the modern world are keeping track of what's going on in the sitcom world of Wanda and Vision through the show itself. So Wanda's world is a show that's existing in real life. Like, that's how they're keeping track of what's going on in this bubble. So with that, the mystery starts to happen of what caused these people to be trapped here, what's controlling them, what's controlling Wanda, how Vision, spoiler alert, so stop here. If you don't want that spoiler, that's fine, I'll let you leave. You have a few seconds to leave before I reveal the spoiler, just in case some of you have not seen something or Endgame or whatever. If you have not seen it, leave now. But with those who don't want spoilers probably gone by now, they're trying to figure out how Vision is alive and why this is all happening. Like, is someone controlling Wanda? Is she a victim like everybody else in the town? How are they being controlled? Like, there's certain distances. This whole town is trapped. And the people in it are acting really weird, specifically when they are not around the center of town. The farther out they get from town, the more glitchy and stuff they start to act. Like going through looping and like doing the same motion over and over, or like completely standing stock still because it's like they're broken. But they're normal human beings. They're not robots. They're not computer programs. They're real people that are going through this. And that is really freaky. It's creepy, in all honesty. And that element really started to hook me into the show, because I'm like, this is insane. What is going on? Like, these people are trapped. They're terrified. They're begging to be set free because their real personalities are still underneath the way that they are acting in the sitcom. They were not willing participants in this world that they are trapped in. They are literally trapped and they are victims. And to see when a person goes from their like old-timey sitcom self to the self trapped underneath, and them begging for help, them begging to be set free, is so intentionally unsettling, and they nail it every time. Like, those scenes made my skin crawl in a great way, because that's what they were intended to do. Those scenes were not intended to make you laugh. They were not intended to be funny. They were intended to creep you out, and that is exactly what you did, or what they did. So I'm going to get into spoilers now, so if you don't want those, leave now. Once again, I will give you a chance to leave, because I don't want to accidentally spoil anything for anybody that has not seen the show, because I feel like a jerk when I do that. So if you don't want spoilers, please leave now. I've given you plenty of time to click off the video. If you do not want them, if you do leave the video because you don't want spoilers, I will not be mad at you, I promise. Go watch the show and then come back to this if you want. It's up to you. I don't mind. Alright, assuming those who don't want spoilers are gone, and if you don't care about spoilers and you're here anyway, even though you haven't seen the show, let's get into it. So, with the mystery unraveling, we start to find out that it was Wanda behind this whole town trapped in an old-time sitcom thing. She was so stuck in grief after Vision died, because she was in love with Vision, that she created this whole false reality for herself and everyone in it. And she can only really manipulate things around her, so that's why she needed to trap the people in this reality. And that's why she used the town, because she does have a lot of power, yes, but she doesn't have enough to make and keep this all running. And you start to see that throughout the show, where everything starts to fall apart. And it starts to glitch and everything else. Now, at first, Wanda didn't do this on purpose. You could tell she acted out of grief, out of fear, out of anger, and she just reacted, and unfortunately a lot of people, like over 1,000 people that were trapped in this town, got caught in the crossfire. So now they're forced to be slaves to what Wanda wants her world to be. And that's why the people are breaking through these false personas, their sitcom selves. That's why they're breaking out and begging to be set free, because they aren't in control and they didn't ask to be here. It was Wanda's magic keeping them under control and making them bend to her will. And that's why when they get to a certain point away from her in the town, they start to glitch out or completely sit still, because her magic can only reach so far. The closer she is to people, the more they act human. So, throughout the show, Wanda starts to realize that she was the cause of this and that it is bad. And she starts to understand that what she did was not okay and that she has a lot of people trapped and hurting here because they are not themselves. They are not in control. And that's painful. She's basically torturing a town full of 1,000 people. And what starts to bug me about Wanda is even that she realizes that she is hurting so many people because of this bubble she has them trapped in, she will not stop. She keeps going. And when the people from the modern time start to try and break the bubble and enter her world, she starts to make things worse by expanding it and making stronger spells. Even after she realizes what is happening and is like, oh, this is really bad. I am doing such a terrible thing to these people. As soon as she gets antagonized, she's like, okay, screw it, make it worse. And I'm like, why? I have said it before in other videos and I stand by this point and I always will. Your grief does not give you the permission to make other people feel like shit or hurt other people. Like in the moment, if you're so in grief you don't realize what you're doing, that would be forgiven, maybe, unless you killed someone. Yikes. But like, Wanda is already realized that what she's doing is bad, that these people are begging to her face intentionally, saying, let us go please, it hurts, you're in my head, I have kids at home that don't know where I am. They are saying this stuff to her face, and she, as soon as she's antagonized again, throws all that out the window and just makes it worse. Yes, she wants kids. Yes, she wants a life with vision. But she is ruining 1,000 people's other lives to get it. And she realizes that and makes it worse. Like at first when she said, oh, I didn't realize what I was doing, I didn't mean to do this, I'm like, okay, cool. You didn't mean to. It was an accident. Yes, you hurt a lot of people and you should have consequences, but fix it now that you know. But she just makes things worse. I was starting really not to like her. Like, I thought it would get better when she realized what she was doing to these people. But she's like, I have a family now. I have vision back. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm like, no. But yeah, it gets really dark at spots. And once that all started to weave together, the WandaVision part of it, like the fakey sitcoms and all that, stopped bothering me because it just got so in-depth and just dark and creepy, and I loved it. But there were some things that are lackluster. And I know that the effects are kind of a Marvel staple at this point, and Marvel effects have never been very good, which always baffles me because they are such a big company. And even now that they partnered with Disney, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, industry in the world, and they can't afford better effects than what they have. Like, the CGI for Wanda's powers is weird looking, and you can tell it's CGI. When she's moving stuff around with her mind, just looks so horrible. Like, you could tell everything's on wires, and it's not seamless at all. And when a character gets hit, they go from a real person to CGI, and it is so noticeable that it's like, yikes. But other than the bad effects, and actually only other than the bad effects and the weird starting out as a sitcom until I started to get used to it and it started to overlap and make more sense, I really enjoyed this show, and like I said, I loved how dark it got. I'm not sadistic or anything, but in a show, like the twisting and the turning and the darkness and the way that it's resolved just gets me hooked. Like if you have a dark show all the time, maybe I won't like it because I'll be expecting the darkness. But this went from frumpy old ridiculous sitcom to mind controlling and torture and just a whole lot of bad. It went from mindless sitcom to a whole lot of bad, and it just got me hooked because I was not expecting that at all, and I ended up loving it. And it's a great show if you want to watch it. Like I said, it didn't get good for me until around episode 4-ish. So if you can hold on till episode 4, I guarantee that you'll end up liking the show too, because it is a trip, it is creepy, and it is just a good watch. So if you do watch it, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and I will hope to see you next time. I'll shut up now. Hope to see you next time. Okay, bye guys!